Hey the Vinyl community, Alex here back to do another thread response actually today in response to Dan in Canada's most recent thread. He put this one up on the 27th of August. Yeah, I'm a little bit late, so apologies for that. But yeah, I really enjoyed the questions. Dan had 5 and really got me thinking, so I wanted to kind of give my 2 cents on this. I also wanted to say a massive thank you to everybody who's entered my contest so far, my thread/contest. Been some really interesting video responses. Absolutely enjoyed every single one of them, and actually still have a couple to watch. I'm gonna watch after this video. So yeah, thank you so much. And the contest closes a week tomorrow, so you have 8 days to make a video response, and that'd be awesome. So yeah, thanks to everyone who's done a response thus far, and it's just been fascinating watching what you guys have to say. So yeah, I'm gonna get straight into this thread. Playing in the background is Radiohead, The King of Limbs. Absolutely amazing album. I don't think the band really got enough credit for this. I mean, yes, it didn't live up to the standards they set with like OK Computer and some of those previous albums, but I still think it's a very solid album, and shouldn't be underestimated. So yeah, that's what's playing, and I'll get straight into the first question, which was, do you consider yourself more of a collector or an audiophile? I'm going to be brutally honest here and say that I think I'm about as far away from an audiophile as you could possibly be right now. You can see my system behind here, my speakers, my amp, my DVD player up there that plays CDs, and then my turntable down here. All of those components there came to the grand total of £35. Just a ridiculously low amount of money. A bargain in many respects, but of course, it is lacking some of the quality that I would like from my system, and the audio side of vinyl has always interested me right from the beginning. When I first started collecting, it was one of the reasons really why. Sorry about that. One of the reasons really why I started collecting was the audio side of it, and I can decisively say now that I really do by far prefer the experience of listening to vinyl than CDs or any other format really. So yeah, I would. I'm fascinated by the audio side of vinyl, but at the moment, I think my primary priority is to build a very solid foundation of records, and kind of build the collection up before I delve deeper into the audio side of things. And I'm very limited on money, as most students are. I mean, I have a lot of money going out on other things as well, and it's hard enough buying the records, let alone spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds on new systems. So it's certainly something I will look to invest in the future, but I don't think I'll ever get to the stage where I consider myself an audiophile. I think I'll always be a collector at heart, and I've always loved collecting things. Ever since I've been like 10 years old, I've been collecting things, CDs, DVDs, games, books, and now it's records. I've just kind of taken it to a new level with vinyl, and so yeah, I definitely say for the first question, I'm erring on the side of collector at the moment, and I'm nowhere near I'm nowhere near an audiophile, that's for sure. Okay, question 2 was, how protective are you of your records? Great question, and if I'm honest, I've never had to be overly protective of my records. Never been in the position where I've had to kind of inflict any kind of authority over people, and because most people that come in, whether that be family or friends, they treat my records with respect. They know how much I like the music. They know how much I enjoy the records and the vinyl, and they treat it with respect. And I like to think that most people would show that respect. I haven't yet had the displeasure of having an incident where someone damages a record or something. And obviously, if that did happen, I think my attitude would be a little bit different. I would probably have a complete change of heart here. But at the moment, I'm just kind of going with the flow, and people that do come in and are interested in looking at the records and even handling them, that's fine with me. I actually welcome that because, I like people being interested, and yeah, it just hasn't, fingers crossed, hasn't got to that stage yet where I have to change my attitude in any way. So yeah, that's my answer to the second question. Third question was, do you hang on to records that you no longer listen to? With this one, I haven't really reached a stage where I've had to weed out any kind of records I don't want or need anymore, simply because I'm just trying to build up a collection at the moment. I'm trying to build a collection of records that I really enjoy and that I know that I will want to go back to. I don't tend to bring in records into my collection that I know I'm going to hate. For instance, I found a bunch of records at my grandma's house, I think I mentioned a while back, and about a third of the records I brought home I actually ended up just giving to my brother, because he's someone who likes having things in his room, likes the idea of having a collection. He only has like 10, 20 records, but yeah, I just gave them to him because I know that I would never go back to them, I would never listen to them again. So I tend to keep the records that are in my collection now are records that I know I'll want to go back to in the future, even if at the moment they're just sitting there gathering dust. So it's a strange one. I know that once my collection gets bigger and I get to kind of 500 records, I will have to make a decision as to whether I give some records away, sell some records. I know I'll have to do that at some point, but I haven't reached that stage yet, I guess. Question 4 was show 5 of your favourite, most cherished 7-inches, and it's a tough one for me because I'm not that big on 7-inches. I don't tend to buy lots and lots of them. I mean, I have about 20, I'd say about 20 altogether. So picking 5, that's a quarter of my collection. But I just picked out the 5 here that I most enjoy listening to, and that none of them are really real prized possessions or anything. They're not. They're not rare or anything like that. Well, a couple of them are maybe a little bit rare, but there's none in here worth £100-200. They're just records. They're just 7-inches that I enjoy listening to. The first one is Jimi Hendrix Fire, which I bought on Record Store Day. This is on red vinyl. Really, really nice. Second of all, this is actually two 7-inches in here. I've got they're both Beatles, as you can see the Apple logo. And these were actually the first 7-inches I ever got my hands on back in, I think, December of last year. So yeah, we've got Don't Let Me Down, Get Back, so some of the later stuff, and then Revolution and Hey Jude. So yeah, just really enjoy the Beatles. Any Beatles I can get on vinyl, I just go crazy for. So I had to show those ones. This one here is Bob Dylan. Had to show a bit Dylan as well, of course. From a Buick 6 and Positively 4th Street. And this is just a really nice clean copy on CBS. Yeah, CBS. So yeah, always great to get Dylan on vinyl, especially when it's in good condition. Then I got this one here, the Rolling Stones, Brown Sugar, Bitch, Let It Rock. 2 live songs on here, and Brown Sugar from the album Sticky Fingers. Showed this not too long ago actually, but this is a Record Store Day release, but I got it not very long ago. They got like a new shipment in, so I managed to get my hands on one of these. And it's really my introduction to the Rolling Stones on vinyl. Previous to this, I didn't have any of their music on vinyl, so this was great to get. And finally, I wanted to show this because it really is one of my most cherished 7-inches. It's Derek's In Dreamer single. Just an amazing amount of effort went into this, and I really like the coloured vinyl. It's the only marble vinyl I have in my collection, so it was good to get. And obviously being Derek, it's that little bit extra special. And yeah, just a really nice set. So those are the 5. I think it was 6 actually in the end, but kind of like my 6 most cherished 7 inches, I guess, at the moment. You know, as I say, I'm not that big at the moment on 7 inches. I mean, I do buy them if they catch my eye, but I just haven't. The store I have in town just really doesn't sell too many, and the ones they do sell, you know, they don't often kind of catch my eye or catch my imagination when I first see them. I tend to like to save up a little bit more money and then buy a full-length album or a 12-inch single, you know. So, right, so the 5th and final question that Dan asked was, do you ever feel like people can't relate to your interest in records? And I have to say, you know, the answer to this one is a yes. I've always found that, you know, since starting collecting, there are people that really just don't get it. And to be fair, you know, I'm not gonna criticize or comment on those people in any way, because to be quite frank, you know, I was one of them just a couple of years back. You know, I knew what records were, but I had no idea in my mind, you know, that people were actually still listening to them. So to criticize someone that can't relate to my interest in records or to comment on it would be kind of wrong. But yeah, I feel like, you know, whether we like it or not, we are living in the age of the iPod and in the age of downloadable music, and in many cases free downloadable music as well. So it's kind of inevitable that people are certainly younger people are going to find it difficult to relate to someone buying records, and I accept that. And I've come across people that can't quite relate to my interest in records. But to be fair, you know, the collective knowledge and the collective love and passion that we have here in the community, with hundreds of people posting these videos, I mean, that just far outweighs you know, anyone that just doesn't get it. So it really doesn't affect me in the slightest. I really couldn't care less whether you know, people can relate to it or not. I tried to keep my interest in records quite isolated, from kind of separate from my family and friends, just simply really because none of them have the same interest as me. But yeah, I do think it's kind of like what Mr. Hall of Fame said, you know, when people do come around, friends and family, you know, they show enthusiasm and encouragement, and you know, they do take an interest in my record collection, but you can kind of see in their eyes that they do think it's a bit weird, a bit strange that we kind of are obsessing over records and spending all this money. But I accept that, and as I say, it doesn't affect me, and I don't think it ever will affect me because obviously I have the community, and also it's just it's a very kind of personal thing as well for me. So yeah, that's my answer, and that concludes the thread. 5 really great questions. Thanks so much to Dan for doing them, for putting this thread up, and I look forward to your next thread. I want to come back on after. I'm going to have a little break now, and then I'm going to come back on and hopefully make a response to the Grecian Thunder's census thread, which he put up a few days ago, I believe. That should be good, and a couple of other things I wanted to do as well. So look for more videos over the next few hours and few days. And apart from that, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.